something. With all the distractions that you have off the field, how are you able to keep focused on winning football games as you do and do throughout the year? When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win, baby.
Marketing come up with that for him. Those were his phrases that he came up with, that he believed in.
Just win. Play hard. Try not to make mistakes. But don't worry about mistakes, because there's only one thing that counts. Just win. Just win.
Yo, welcome to another episode. We back, you feel me, of the 2-for-1 Nation podcast, man. I'm one of your hosts, the SC Raider Talk. Hey, good boy, Eric, and I'm back, you feel me? And my brother, the other half of the 2-for-1 Nation. It's not 1-for-1, it's 2-for-1. The home of the Brown Crackers and the congregation. My brother, Raider Twuan in the building. What's good, Twuan?
Hey, we back at it. Y'all know what it is. 2-for-1 Nation podcast. Two brothers for one nation, and y'all know it's the Raider Nation. Blessings to everybody out there.
It's a fact, man. We back. A lot to talk about. Bye week, everything. Now it's a new week where we're gonna play a team. We're back. Bye week was last week. Some changes were happening, and pretty much the prediction of me saying that if anything's gonna change, it's gonna change during the bye week, and we got some coaching changes. So they did it. We go talk about it. You know, at the end of the day, we're gonna give you the real. We're not here to put sunshine and rainbows, because at the end of the day, we are arguably the worst team in the NFL right now, record-wise. So, before we get into that, man, let me shout out everybody that's in here, man. Shout out to everybody coming on in. Blessings to you guys and your families. Hopefully, you guys have been having great weeks. Besides the Raiders, obviously, great weeks, man, and stuff like that. Spending with your family and their loved ones and everybody, man. Shout out to Circus Ray. Says, Norv and Scott Turner. Honestly, they can't be any worse to get to a screen pass on 3rd and 50. We go talk about it, Circus. Shout out to Raider Paul in the building. Oh, I didn't have this ready. I'm a little rusty. Hold on. You can never get enough of this. Shout out to DeMarcus Webb in the building. Billy Davis, salute. Gord Peterson, salute to you as well. SoCal Sal, good to see you, man. Hope all as well. Shout out to everybody coming on in, man. I was starting to think Eric was kidnapped. Nah, I'm back, man. I'm back. I'm gonna start putting in that work, solve some things. So shout out to all lives, man. Shout out to everybody coming on in, man. Hopefully I didn't skip anybody. And shout out to everybody coming on in. Hit that like button like always, man. But shout out to Javier coming on in as well. Salute. Twuan. I want to first start off with just a brief recap, because I know on your own shows and stuff like that, you already gave your analysis on the past game before the bye week. How did you feel about it? Quick thoughts, don't have to be too much. What did you feel about it, man?
Man, the same old thing. We just having a whole lot of issues. It seems like we always want to, we always end up beating ourselves. And that's what we've been doing for the past couple of weeks, is just beating ourselves. So,
yeah,
the change is definitely expected and needed.
And that's a fact. And, it was tough to watch these games. I mean, continuously week in and week out. I felt like it was the same thing over and over again, pretty much a circus, right? In Vegas. And, that Cincinnati game is just another tale of, hey, same old Raiders as the beginning till now. Even the wins didn't even feel like wins, and that's what sucks, right? But at the end of the day, wins were a win. So obviously, we're 2-7. We're 4th in the AFC West. We're the only AFC West team to not be in the playoff prediction so far, and it's pretty much halfway through the season already. It's not a season that a lot of us predicted, but it happened, where you kind of used to it, and it sucks that we're kind of used to it. We should have made changes earlier. I think it was too late for changes, but at the end of the day, the changes happen. It's the bye week. They have to get up to par. Um, I don't know how true it is that they didn't really practice over the bye week. If I'm correct, if I'm wrong, I seen something like that. I'm not sure if that's 100% true. If you heard about that one where they didn't really practice that much like we wanted to.
I think they committed like 1 week
Mm-hmm.
to like rest and all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but um, that's kind of what they did
Okay.
is
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
it's and that's where it's tough
Mm-hmm.
because us as fans were like, nah, they've been losing. There's no need for them to, what I'm
Yeah.
saying, to miss. But then you also have to factor in that I'm not going to say the whole reason why we're losing games, but a good percentage of the reason why we're losing games is also because of injury.
Mm-hmm.
So to have that time where Max Crosby can get a rest, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Possibly get some guys back, and we'll talk about a guy that's coming that
Yeah.
is back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Coming off of the bye, but it's kind of one of those half and half, right?
Yeah.
You want practice, but you also want these guys to be healthy to
Right.
possibly see if we can do something, in the second half of the season.
Mm. And of course, also the trade deadline passed. We didn't do nothing. Um, we didn't do nothing. What a surprise, right? We never do anything. But obviously that's just a tell of that. But speaking of the bye week that you're talking about, changes were made, and if you're living under a rock, we got a familiar face in town, right? Obviously, Norv Turner comes on, Scott Turner and Joe Philbin, all three become step up a little bit forward. Scott Turner, obviously the son of Norv Turner, is the interim offensive coordinator. Joe Philbin, he steps in as the offensive line coach, and then Norv Turner, obviously the senior advisor. Scott Turner obviously joined us last year as the pass game coordinator. Also was an offensive coordinator for the Washington Commanders before us, and he also coached the Panthers, Browns, and I believe the Vikings. And on top of that, also played quarterback in college. You could tell you could do whatever you want with that information, right? And then Joe Philbin, somebody that I seen some names right before the changes were even made. People were bringing up Joe Philbin, and I think in our show right before that, somebody brought up Joe Philbin. We were talking about Joe Philbin. So of course becomes our senior offense pretty much Joe Philbin because our offensive line coach, obviously was a senior offensive assistant before that, and then he pretty much has a more than a decade of coaching experience. Also, um, spent several years with the Packers, yada yada yada. I could keep going nine about their resumes and stuff like that. And then Norv Turner, obviously somebody that we're very familiar with. Norv Turner, was our head coach, was pretty much man. In 04, 05. And he's a respected guy, but he's kind of in the older age and he hasn't been too into the loop of the NFL nowadays. So, Twuan, talk to me about these three guys, man. Does it change anything? Is it just, hey, whatever's, let's see what they got? What you thinking, man?
I think this is an upgrade,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll say
Yeah.
it and I'll say it this way for those that are like, "What the heck are you talking about?"
Mm-hmm.
What we saw from Getsy, I've been saying this about Getsy is like, I don't believe the playbook is bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what you're calling out of the playbook.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, the bar is so low in
Mm-hmm.
regards to the offense, of call that Scott can go out there and do a half, a half, but job in regards to calling plays, and it'll be better than what Getsy brought to the table.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he'll be all right because I think he's also going to be the one that's going to be taking over the quarterback room too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think Norv Turner is just a guy, kind of like a help, an assistant to what Scott is doing.
Yeah.
I know Scott does have some experience, but Norv Turner, despite what you may feel about him as a head coach, Norv Turner was a really good offensive coach. You know what I'm saying? He was a good offensive coordinator. So to have that in the room is definitely going to help out Scott in regards to what they want to do in regards to the offense. I think, that was my frustration with Getsy, going back to Getsy, is I was like, hey, Joe Philbin needs to call plays. And, because I know what Joe Philbin can bring to the table now.
Yeah.
Am I going to be mad that he's doing the offensive line? Not at all, because James Craig, the offensive line, coach, he wasn't. It's bad. You know what I'm saying? As regards to our offensive line. So if Joe Philbin can do, and that's the same thing with Getsy. If Joe Philbin can do a slither better than what James Craig was doing on this offensive line, that's going to make it look like, oh my gosh, you guys are incredible. So that's kind of where we are. And like I said, that experience with Philbin and with Norv Turner there, I think we'll be, a little more happier with what's being called out of that playbook, because I don't think they're going to change the playbook. I think they're just going to call certain things out of that playbook, because again, they can't make too many major adjustments in this part of the season.
And like you kind of said earlier, just to piggyback on that, when we talk about, is it the playbook or is it the plays? It was a lot more of when the plays were called. I mean, some of them were really good plays and just bad execution from the players themselves as well. Was Who knows if they respected Getsy, right? I don't want to start throwing narratives and rumors. I'm not that type of guy. But at the end of the day, there was something that wasn't functioning, and we've seen it time and time again every week. So for me, does this give me hope that we will win games? Yeah. But does it give me hope for playoffs and start talking about all these things that we could change around our season? Hell no. Let's just be real with each other.
Yeah.
Hell no. Now, am I one for tanking? Hell no. I think we're just naturally bad right now. So at the end of the day, we're gonna lose games regardless. Just being realistic about our team and where we're at right now. We're not Superman. We're not gonna come out here after the bye week and go on a 10-game winning streak and make the playoffs. Like, throw that out the water. We're getting some interim offensive coordinator. We're getting the guy, you feel me, with his dad pretty much coming on in. That hasn't been too much functioning with the NFL. We got to be realistic with it. And at the end of the day, I seen somebody, shout out to Cool Kev in the building. I seen somebody in the chat right here. Let me pop it up, because it kind of brings me to the pretty much same topic, similar topic. What Javier says, we go to the quarterback real quick based on change of coaching and change of offensive coordinator. Nothing has changed. It becomes Minshew. He's still quarterback one. That was announced, I think, today in the morning or something like that. For me, Minshew was somebody that I had praise for in the offseason, and I'll keep it a stack. When you look at his resume, time and time again, the team he has gone to, he's been good enough to win games. And, the Colts is his most recent season, and he was doing really good and helped Michael Pittman get a record there himself in receptions. He did everything good. He made the Pro Bowl, and I know the Pro Bowl kind of went down as far as status, but he still made the Pro Bowl. And when you think of resumes like that, you think of a guy that could come in here and win games. Obviously, that's not what happened. He's been overthrowing, underthrowing, doing bad, kind of looking like a rookie out there, a 5th-round rookie, and it's bad. Now him being quarterback one, it's understandable. At the end of the day, Ritter, obviously, I mean, come on. He probably doesn't have the playbook down himself. You could see it in there, and it kind of looks like we're just, we got to get through the season. It kind of looks like that to me, Twuan. It kind of looks like we're just trying to get through the season. What do you think?
That's exactly where it's at. You know what I'm saying? And I agree with you. I think, to be honest with you, and when I was going really in on Minshew, you know what I'm saying, one of the things I said is the only reason why he's the starting quarterback is because we ain't got
nobody. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? ALC is still, you know what I'm saying, still out. You know what I'm saying? And you guys know how I feel about him. He's the best quarterback in our room. And then you have, Ritter, and obviously they don't feel comfortable with Ritter. You can tell that even with the plays that they were having for Ritter was a simple run pass option. And because that is, that in a playbook of its totality, the run pass option is like a little piece of the whole entire playbook. So you can't really function, and run a complete offense off of a little section of a playbook. So until he gets the playbook even more, I don't think that's even a viable option. And I don't even think they feel comfortable with Carter Bradley at all. You know what I'm saying? Even though I believe Carter Bradley Carter Bradley will be out there slinging it and doing the best he could. You know what I'm saying? And I think he does have the playbook, but they just don't feel comfortable with that. So with all that being said, Minshew's the only quarterback we got.
That's a fact. Shout out to Capitan Rafucho. Good to see you, man. Mierda Mania staying that started playing first replaced in 2025. For me, obviously, I'm a guy that doesn't really talk about the draft until the off season. But I ain't gonna lie, I don't know about you, Tom, but this might be one of those seasons where I start talking about it soon. And it's just because of the fact that where our team is at. I'm still gonna be watching games. Obviously, I'm not gonna shut the TV off. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna hope that we win, right? I hope every week we win. Obviously, see how it is under new interim offensive coordinator. See how that goes. See if Minshew picks it up. See different things. Some of these young stars, which let's be honest, Jacoian Bennett, man. I wanted to bring him up real quick. A guy that I said could have something, like I said, this cornerback room could be something that looks really weak in the offseason and ends up being one of the best ones, just like the linebackers of last year. And Jacoian Bennett was one of those that I said that could end up stepping up, and he stepped up 100%. A guy that, in my opinion, is one of the best cornerbacks, coverage corners in the NFL right now. I want to say top 5 right now, but I will say in the top end of cornerbacks for sure. So that's somebody I wanted to give praise real quick. A little bit of positivity, throwing in the negative outlook of it. Oh, go ahead.
And that's what we have to look for. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are like, I'm not going to turn off the TV. I'm not going to listen to the press conferences. You got to listen to all of that because those things are still going to be in play moving forward in regards to this team. There's a lot of guys out there right now, you know what I'm saying, that are fighting for their contracts. And it's not, and I hate for someone to be like, oh, this person ain't worthy of a contract if you ain't watching the game to actually see if that person's really worthy of a contract. So there's too many guys out there that are fighting for contracts, and there's going to be a point in time where we're going to be talking about it. And just to be honest with you, I don't want to hear from you if you ain't watching these games. Like, I really don't want to hear that, oh, so-and-so got to go if you ain't really sticking through it and really seeing if these guys are fighting for their contract and just fighting to the end. So there's a lot of things to look out for. Jacoian Bennett is definitely a flash, you know what I'm saying, and a good surprise for us in regards to the cornerback room. And let's see what he does in these next couple of weeks. Let's see if he can actually get an interception. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing that he doesn't have to his table yet. You know what I'm saying? So let's watch those things in these upcoming weeks.
That's a fact. And obviously, kind of going back to the whole Minshew thing, it is what it is. It's the best we could do, right? Shout out to Auntie Six in the building. What's good, Auntie Six? Good to see you, man. Hope all is well. Shout out to everybody here, man. Jacoian is an elite on third down. Held DeCamerion showed IQ when he forced the Bengals receivers to the sideline for an incomplete pass. That's a fact, man. And this is the promise we have, right? Entering next season. It sucks that we're one of those teams that have to look at next season already. And I wasn't expecting this. I'll be 100%. I was expecting this. I didn't predict this. And it's just something that was very disappointing. It was a disappointing season. But at the end of the day, it's not over. Technically, season-wise, right? We still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. And I know a lot of us are circling that Saints game where Derek Carr returns, you feel me? And it's a whole, you feel me? That's something to circle right there. But obviously, we're probably not going to play for anything by then. It's literally like a 1% chance of making the playoffs. And let's be honest.
If you are, and here I go losing some subscribers. If you are in the mentality that all you're waiting for is to play Derek Carr That's week 17. There's
Mm.
some games before that we need to be concerned about. So if you're only concerned about week 17, then you've already
Checked out.
you're, you're
Mm.
already done. Like
Mm.
let's try our best to stay with this team and not jump ahead. Let's try our best to do that.
And we have 3 AFC West opponents still to play. One at Arrowhead, and then 2 home with the Chargers in Denver. And then we're playing the whole Saints division: Saints, Falcons, Bucks. 3 of them. Obviously, we played Carolina earlier, but those are some games to look at. But obviously, this week we have on 10 a.m. West Coast time, 10 a.m. West Coast time, 1 p.m. Eastern, Miami Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa back. Obviously something that I'm surprised about personally, just on the NFL standpoint, that he's back. He's had so many concussions. That could be really bad for somebody's health in the future. But obviously he's back. Tyreek Hill, all those things, Jaden Waddle, and so on and so on. I'm just interested to see, which this kind of leads me before we get into the other topics and some news. I wanted to just get your brief, preview of the Miami game. What are you trying to see? What are you expecting from the game? Let me know what you think about Miami.
Everybody talks about their speed, and obviously that's an
Mhm.
obvious component of what the Dolphins do.
Mhm.
I just want to see them execute and actually see better play call
Yeah.
from the offensive side. If they can do that, then hey, there's a chance. Because I think also with the Miami Dolphins, they're not playing their best ball anyway. You know what I'm saying? And even though they've won a few games here and there, like they're still not playing their best ball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I haven't seen as of yet, and maybe someone can help me out, where Tyreek Hill went off, you know what I'm saying, and had one of those monster games that he normally has a couple of times, you know what I'm saying, a year, you know what I'm saying? So it's one of those, it's just one of those, again, seems like every week, this is another opportunity that we have a chance of actually winning this
Winning.
game,
Mhm.
and it's going to be up to us if we want to win that game.
And obviously, they're coming off a win against the Rams. They lost to the Buffs, the Buffalo Bills, and the Arizona Cardinals. So they're a team that themselves, like he said, is a winnable game. They're 3-6. We're 2-7. It's literally just by one margin. And nobody thought the Miami Dolphins would be this bad too, and they are. So now is you got 2 teams that are trying to figure it out. One has a higher chance technically because they're 3-6, but at the end of the day, both are trying to change up different things, change up different schemes to try to make something work. So for me, what I'm looking for this game is seeing how the Raiders are under a new offensive coordinator, see what plays are called when, is there adjustments, and that's what I'm looking at. Obviously, there's some press conferences that have happened this week, following Antonio Pierce that he's getting a lot of backlash for. Um, and for me, it's just something that I just knew that since a couple weeks back that it's a thing where it is what it is, right? In quotation marks. And we're a bad team. It sucks that we're a bad team. None of us were expecting it, and I think that's why a lot of people are, including me at times, when we lose certain games, I kind of get mad at people, right? Quickly, I get mad at Antonio Pierce. I get mad at the quarterback. I get mad at this, that, and the third, even when sometimes it's not their fault, but I still get mad at them because at the end of the day, we're dropping games that we should win. And I get that frustration across Raider Nation. I see it. Every time Antonio Pierce opens his mouth now, he gets a lot of backlash saying that he should get fired and stuff. And I think it kind of goes back to us having high expectations for this team this year. And I'm one of those culprits that I had a high expectation. 11 wins. I said 11 wins, and I said the reality 10 wins, and it doesn't look like we're even going to get close to that. And that's because I had high expectations for your team. When you see everything on the floor and the desk, and you put the paper on the desk, and you see this team from the offseason point of view, you kind of see a team like, damn, this is really a playoff team. But then you kind of tend to forget, and I was one of those. I was blind. I tend to forget Antonio Pierce. This is the first time he really is a head coach. Oh, I gotta remember Luke Getsy. There was a question with him coming in. At the end of the day, Antonio Pierce is not a defensive mind. I mean, not an offensive mind. He's a defensive mind. We need an offensive coordinator that doesn't have questions. But we had a Luke Getsy that had questions. Was it Justin Fields? Was it him? Now it looks like more it's him. And stuff like that shouldn't have happened. But I was, like I said, I can only speak for myself, and people are gonna say what they want to say. I was blind to it. I had too much high expectations when I didn't even look at the reality of it. And now I'm here, pretty much depressed of, damn, like, what happened? Why are we here? And stuff like that. So, to just keep it a stack with it. We had high expectations, and I see why everybody's already throwing the towel, saying tank and this, that, and the third. It's because we had high expectations, and now we're disappointed, and we want to just throw everything to the dirt. Obviously, me, I'm gonna give you a clear idea. I'm a person that, hey, give Antonio Pierce another year, and that's just me, not from a standpoint of, it's just this revolving door that I don't want to keep going down. We keep revolving doors. Something doesn't work, get them out of here. When something doesn't work, get them out of here. Get them every year. We're the same thing, and it's a revolving door that I don't want to keep going. And at the end of the day, I might be wrong. Antonio Pierce might stink it up next year too. But at the end of the day, what better option do we have?
Right? Yeah, and that's exactly where it's at. I think with this team, we just got to roll it out. I think we all had high hopes in regards to how this team was going to be. But a lot of, like, I've been saying, a lot of the question marks that we had in the beginning of the season are the question marks we still have now. So, yeah. Is that grounds to fire Antonio Pierce, knowing that he's a defensive coach and the side of the ball that's really struggling is our offense? I wouldn't say so. But that's just where we're at. I think if we just even going a little ahead, if we actually get a good offensive coordinator in here, I think we could still get some stuff done. Yeah, there's some pieces that we need to add to this team, but I think we're still in a positive place. I think our record is not really a complete indication of what this team actually has. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, in most cases you say, oh, the record is who we are. I don't think that's the case. I just think that, we're young in some areas, and there's some things that we have to get together in regards to coaching. But it all starts with this coming week. We're coming off of a bye. So that means there's also added preparation for this game. So let's see what these guys can do. And based off of the press conferences and the interviews and stuff like that, this team still seems like they're fighting. You know what I'm saying? They don't look like they what they have been saying is that they haven't given up. So let's see if they continue to fight.
Yeah, and obviously, shout out to everybody coming on. They said Detroit God in the building. Salute. Shout out to Queen Raider in the building. Salute. Good to see everybody coming on. And Anthony Estrada, salute. I don't know if I salute you, but salute. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Hope all is well. And obviously, when it comes down to it, the draft is what a lot of people are looking forward to now. I'm looking forward to it too. I love the draft. There's something about me. I love the draft. I love to do draft content, all that stuff, and it's gonna come soon. But obviously, it's the tale of, are we gonna get a quarterback next year? And I think that's the direction we're for sure going, Twuan. I think we're one of those teams that how all the teams last year that took a quarterback were staying put, doesn't want to trade it because they want a quarterback, and I think that we're gonna be one of those teams. And who? And Auntie Six brings it up here. Is it Sanders or Ward? It's going to be between either two, right? It depends. For me, Auntie Six, as of our position right now, I believe we're 7th now. I think we got pushed back, if I'm not mistaken. But if you were to ask me, if we had a choice, right? Both players on the floor, right there, ready to grab. Is it Ward or is it Sanders? You may think for me, just like a lot of Raider Nation, Sanders, because there's that connection already. It's been, rumored Raiders this, Raiders that. Would I be mad at Sanders? No. But me personally, I'm going to stand by what I said since the offseason and until now, what I've seen on tape and stuff like that and games. Cam Ward, for me personally, I would choose between them two. Ward. But would I be mad at Sanders? Hell no. Now, Twuan, let me know. If you had both players there, what would you pick? Early prediction.
I'm going to save that one.
Okay.
I'm actually going to drop possibly a video or live.
Okay, there we go.
Topic. So, and I will also just for a little shameless plug, I will also let you guys know who I believe should be our offensive coordinator.
There we go. I think a
So
lot
stay
of it
tuned.
is based on offensive coordinator who we're gonna have for sure next year. I think that's gonna be a big decision
Yeah.
there. But obviously, hey, stay tuned. Hey, subscribe to Raider Twuan in the description, man. Go drop a video on that, and I'm gonna drop a video probably at the off season when I talk about some of these players. I'm gonna get back into that, man. I've been saying that for the past few weeks, but now took this bye week for myself to do a bye week, and I got it. Everything settled. I'm gonna start putting in that work. Start seeing some videos that about different things about the Raiders, man. Because at the end of the day, right now, there's only so much to talk about because of the direction we're going in. But obviously, let's see what people got to say. If we don't pick a quarterback in the first round, the front office needs to be thrown into a landfill. And I agree with you, man. I think a quarterback should be something. And I think using them second round picks and the stuff we got for Devontae Adams, which, by the way, I don't want to bash Devontae Adams, but I got to say this past week, I don't know if you guys seen. Oh man, I think we won the trade. Me personally, I think we won the trade. I mean, was I excited for him to be a Raider? Hell yeah, I'll keep it a stack. I was excited, just like we all were. But this trade, man, kind of showed me a lot of people his true colors, and they're not looking too good over there in New York themselves. So we got to pick for it, and we could use that to go up in the first round again. You feel me?
It's I wasn't completely okay with it.
Yeah.
But as time has gone,
yeah, that's a fact.
It's starting to get sweeter as the day goes by.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at with it. Am I completely happy that we're going to get, it looks like we're going to get a third,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Out of it. Like I said, it's getting sweeter by the day, because when I start looking, you know what I'm saying? Cause I've kind of jumped a little bit of looking at, where certain players are falling in regards to like these mock drafts and stuff like that. There's some talent right there in that third. And for us to have, an extra third and maybe even another third coming down the line, because they haven't added the, certain players gone, the conditionals, right? They haven't added that yet. So we might even have even more picks than I believe the 10 that we already have. So it's, hey, look, there's a lot that we can play with in regards to this draft and actually really get some talent in. Whether we move up and, combine some of those to move up and, double up in the second round or whatever, there's going to be a lot of options to play with. So, yeah, that DA, it's less of a headache in one way. And then just like I said, it just seems like every time he does a press conference or, interview, it seems like it just gets sweeter and sweeter.
Yep. And, I'm for sure, just early prediction, right? Well, we're still in the NFL season, but early prediction. I'm hoping that, not prediction, but hoping that next year we really, in the draft, we really establish getting a receiver and a quarterback. Two of those, I think those are 1 and 2 for me. And I also think an offensive lineman for 3. And then on top of that, also in the free agency market, because you got to remember, we got some people to sign back that we still have questions about. Malcolm Koons, for example, is somebody that we got to start questioning. Is that somebody that we're willing to pay high? Because he may ask for high, even though he's gotten injured, right? But players like that, obviously. But we got to remember, we're pretty much top 5 in cap space next year, which is something to look forward to. And I wouldn't doubt it if we go out and get a top-end receiver next year in the free agency market and get some offensive lineman that's going to really help this team, and maybe another defensive lineman help over there. But that's the positivity I get to throw out there, man.
And don't get confused, guys. You know what I'm saying? And I'll say this because I've been saying it for a while, but it's the reality. If we like what we have, defensively, a lot of those guys we're gonna have to pay to bring them back. So a lot of that money, that 120, is going to get sucked up really fast if we want to retain like the Merricks, the Spillanes, the Diablos, you know what I'm saying? I can keep going. The Nate Hobbs, you know what I'm saying? Those guys, they're all they're all going to want, a contract. Obviously, we got to give them a contract if they're going to stay with the team. So, a lot of that money is just going to be, there's going to be some money left over, but a good majority of that money is to retain some of these guys that we believe are guys moving forward.
And Kuntz is gonna ask for a high salary because Tyree is dog shit. Yeah, no compensation for contract negotiations. Um, but yeah, obviously that's the low positive. And then now moving forward to a little bit of other news, you feel me? This is probably gonna be brief, and I'm gonna let Twuan handle this one. Give you the floor on this one. The Jack Del Rio, I believe is the OWI, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
you know what?
Go ahead.
You're right. It is a OWI. Now, for those that don't understand what that is, every state has a different way of saying it. Here in California, we call that DUI. Sometimes it's a DWI. You know what I'm saying? But it's pretty much the same thing. Pretty much, he was driving drunk. So he was also connected to Wisconsin, college. You know what I'm saying? So he had to resign from that because of him driving drunk. So that's Jack Del Rio from the Bay Area. You know what I'm saying? I guess he felt like, playing some Mac Dre and bending some corners, you know what I'm saying, feeling himself and was just doing too much. Now, I would say this in regards to Jack Del Rio. Jack Del Rio probably does need to get some help because, again, Jack Del Rio ain't no spring chicken. You know what I'm saying? He ain't no, young, wild and free, you know what I'm saying, person. You know what I'm saying? He's up in his 60s, you know what I'm saying? He's an old dude. So for him to be making decisions like that, yeah, he might need to go talk to somebody. But that's pretty much the gist of what Jack Del Rio situation was.
You said it all. You said it all.
And I know also, too, that a lot of people were talking about bringing him back. Well, guess what? I don't think that's going to work, especially if he has issues like that in Vegas. Yeah, that would have easily been another backfire situation. And it's interesting, that we didn't have any reports, knocking on wood. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have any crazy reports during the bye week. So hey, shout out to us for winning in the bye week. You know what I'm saying? We ain't in the tabloids and all that stuff wilding out. So shout out to the Raiders for, even though they ain't winning, they still are on their business.
It's a fact. And now, you feel me? You said it all there. Now, somebody that's coming back, Mayor's back. You feel me? Back with us. Good that he got his stuff situated. Whatever it is, that's good. Obviously, he's back. Would that do too much to offense? It would just give another weapon. He's a weapon at the end of the day. So now we're starting to get more healthy on the offensive side of the ball, which is good to see. But what do you feel about Mayor coming back, man?
I'm glad that he came back. I think that was a piece of the offense that I think a lot of even the coordinators, and here I go caping a little bit for Getsy. I think Getsy coming in was, believing that he was going to have two really good tight ends to run an offense, and he had to change it, quickly because of what was happening. So I think we'll see a little more of that, the 12 personnel with two real legit tight ends. I think with Mayer, and I said it, when we were trying to figure out what was really going on with him, I think he's going to be fighting even more for this team because they were patient with him and caring and concerned about him and everything else, what I'm saying, off the field. And I think that's going to work for the production of Mayer. Now, the videos that I saw from him, he looked really good, but I kind of consider it almost like an injury. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? When someone comes off an injury, they're not really playing their best. They're playing their best ball coming out the gates. So it might take him a week or two to really get up to speed. But I think after that, I think we'll be really rolling with the tight end. So it'll be interesting to see how he looks in his first week
that's a fact.
back with the team.
Yep, and we already know what Bowers could do, man. Like I said, he was gonna be in the race for rookie offensive player of the year for sure. I've been said that, and he looked like it, right? Leading in receptions, I believe, or something like that. But obviously, with Mayer back, it brings another weapon, it brings another blocker, it brings all of the above, right? Now, with that being said, it makes me more interested in to see what this interim offensive coordinator could do in Scott Turner. I'm interested to see what he calls. If maybe a change of coaching maybe does Minshew right? Could potentially be right. That's a potential thing, but at the end of the day, we know what Minshew has been doing all season, and it's not been the greatest. But we're playing a Miami team that also is trying to figure it out themselves. So hopefully, this is a game where our team could some way somehow find some type of identity, because this far along there's no identity, and all I want is them to find their identity. So hey, entering next season, we have an identity, we know what we want, we know what we have, and now we could plug and play these players from free agency, from the draft, and just drag and drop, drag and drop, drag and drop, like it's some
Yeah.
some Madden 2025 stuff, you feel me?
We got too much, and that's why I'm
Mhm.
I'm still on the boat of rolling out with this team. There's too much. There's too much in stake for
Yeah.
this. There's too much in stake for us to not to separate. We gotta keep this thing together as much as
Mhm.
we can in order to move this team forward. To just say, oh, forget it, and you guys do what you do, and I'm gonna do what I do, and all of that. That's not gonna help bring this team to where we ultimately want it to be. So like I said, there's too much at stake for us to break that up. We got to keep as much as we can. Coaching staff, fans, everybody in Raider Nation has to do their part in trying to do their best to keep it together. We can be as honest as possible. We can keep it real and say, hey, so and so, you suck, or whatever the situation may be. But also, we got to realize we got to keep this team together if we want them to be successful next year, because a lot of these guys are going to be coming back.
That's a fact. And there's a lot of young talent on this team, and positive young talent entering next season. And obviously, when Mayor back, this leads us to pretty much, um, by any chance, real quick, because we didn't do a show last week, do you have anybody on the hot seat? You know what I'm talking about?
You know what? I really don't have anybody on the hot seat
Mhm.
this time.
Okay, 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 okay.
I'm gonna give, and I'll just give you guys a joking one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give what you do on Wednesdays to Antonio Pierce for waiting this long to get rid of Luke Getsy.
hmm
Okay, that's the joking one, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I, I'm okay with it. I just feel like we just need to turn that page, and let's see this week.
Mm.
Who might be on what you do on Wednesdays.
The fact, and shout out to Circus. He says, word of advice to temporary OC: don't throw 50 screen passes in a game, and don't run it four straight times in the end zone. No Turner, baby, let's go. Everybody was on the hot seat is already fired. No point in predictions. That's a fact, man. Now entering this week, obviously, I got the injury report right here. Jacorian Bennett, full participant. Harrison Bryant did not participate with an ankle. Max Crosby, full participant. Nate Hobbs, Andre James, and Cody Whitehair all did not participate, all with the same injury, which is their ankle. Michael Mayer, obviously back, full participant. Jacoby Myers, full participant. Colton Miller, limited participation. Dylan Parham, full. Andrews Pete, full. And Robert Spillane, full. Good positive news in the injury reports there. Then for Miami Dolphins, Teron Armstead, their starting tackle. Calais Campbell, Kendall Fuller, Tyreek Hill, Robert Jones, Jordan Poyer, all did not participate. Jordan Poyer and Calais Campbell both in rest. Kendall Fuller, their starting corner, concussion. Teron Armstead, arrest / his knee. And Robert Jones, their center, knee, and Tyreek Hill with his wrist. So there you go for that. Oh, and then obviously Javon Holland, Patrick McMorris, Tyus Bowser, Isaiah Wynn, Alec Ingold. Hey, Alec Ingold's over there, man. You mean a familiar face over there. Alec Ingold, Isaiah Wynn, both limited, and the other ones that I said full participant there. So it looks pretty healthy for the Raiders, man. We're getting some players back. We're getting some people healthy, ready to go. We're coming off of a bye week. I believe the Miami Dolphins are not coming off a bye week. I believe they're coming off of a game in LA, right in the West Coast, against the Rams. They won 23-15 there. Hey, I mean, anything you want to say about this game? Injury report, anything that caught your eye?
Yeah, I think just to be honest with you, with the Dolphins, I think that they just gave them I call that a senior break. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They gave their vets a break. Coming off the game that they had, this past week. Now with us, I think it's going to be, I think Colton Miller will be ready to go. I think they're kind of giving him kind of the senior, kind of babying him a little bit in regards to, when he gets his reps. We know Colton Miller, game time, he's going to be ready to go. The other thing is, Andre negative 3,000. I think it's a benefit that he ain't ready to go, because I think JBJ is already taking that job. I think JPJ is doing well, playing center. And they already said that JPJ is going to start for us. Whether that's injury or production, JPJ is our guy in the middle of our offensive line.
It's a fact. And shout out to everybody coming on in, man. I see Topu, what's good? Topu, good to see you. Hope all is well. Shout out to everybody coming on in, man. If you guys can't hit that like button, subscribe if you're new. Now, for me, obviously, not much to say about the game. Like I said, I'm looking forward to see if the play call is different as far as when and where. I'm interested to see Michael Mayer, how he's going to do back. And, obviously, I want to see this team get some wins, man. I know some people are going to be like, Eric, what are you talking about? The season's over anyways. Why are you asking for a win? We need a tank. We need to get a high-end draft pick. We're going to get a good player regardless of where we're going to end up. We're going to end up in the top end of the first round. And we have some picks to move forward anyways. And I think a quarterback is set on their eyes that they're for sure going to go for. And free agency is going to help a lot on the offensive side of the ball. So I'm not worried about that. I just want to see the Raiders have some positive outlook entering next season. Because right now it's a lot of negativity, and I just want some positive outlook. I want to see something I could hold my hat and take it off and put it on the top end and just be like, okay, hey, we got some young talent, very talented. We got an offense coordinator that could potentially be good. We got an identity. Now let's go on to next season and build on that. Because the problem we've been doing for the last couple seasons is we'll some way, somehow find a little identity and then change it, then no identity, and then go into next season thinking another perspective is going to change something for the greater good, and then we come up with the same problem. Then we go on the revolving door, and then it's a revolving door over and over and over and over, and that's a problem we've had for a very long time. And I think it's time. It's enough, man. We made the changes. We took out something that wasn't working for us. Now let's try to build on that. Let's try to get a positive outlook. Let's try to build on that and really build next year in building a team that could truly compete, because the AFC West right now is looking competitive, and all three teams besides us, all three teams besides us, they got something good going on over there, man, on all three of their teams. And Kansas City is some way, somehow finding wins. The Broncos are actually doing pretty decent with Bo Nix, and the Chargers, a different identity with Harbaugh there, looking greater. But obviously, chokers choke, let's be honest. And I'm waiting for the day that happens. But obviously, they're all three playoff teams. It's competitive.
I think that's what makes it frustrating, Eric, is I feel like, it just sucks that in this division, three teams might actually make the playoffs, and it ain't going to be us.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 100%. And that's the main thing. That's like, damn, like we could have been in we could have been in that competitive nature. We had the team for it, and obviously we just didn't get there. So obviously we go see what happens against Miami Dolphins, a 3-6 team versus a 2-7 team in Miami. By the way, I forgot to mention that in Miami. Uh, 10 a.m. game for the West Coast. I had 10 a.m. games, but that's what it is. And I mean, I don't really got. I don't think there's anything else I missed on. Just to make sure, yeah, we're good. And everything we talked about. Hey, if you want, rewind, you film a video and stuff like that. I mean, the live, and obviously we talked about the coaching staff changes, the Turners, all that stuff. Michael Merritt coming back, stuff like that. The recap of last game, the Cincinnati game. Now the preview of the Miami game, and just to see what we're gonna look forward to for the Raiders with the new offensive coordinator, stuff like that. But of course, Twuan, I know I've been seeing you pop them videos, man, and lives. Let them know where they can find you, what you got coming up, what special videos you got coming up, and all these different things, man. Let them know.
Yeah, man, Raider Twuan on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Raider, everybody should know how to spell Raider. Twuan, Twuan. Okay. That's where you can find me. I do lives, videos, and shorts. So definitely you do not want to miss that. Because we were on a bye week, the schedule was a little different. But I did drop a live talking about tanking. If you have not watched that, come on over to the channel and hear what I gotta say in regards to should the Raiders tank or not. That is available to you. And then also, like I said, I will be working on my video / live on the question that was posed earlier about Cam Ward versus the two guys, Cam Ward and Shador Sanders. I'll be letting you guys know who I believe is the best fit for the Raiders. And also, along with that, I'll let you guys know the offensive coordinator that I think we should get out there on the market. I'll give you guys a hint. It is somebody that is currently that has NFL experience, but is not in the NFL.
Okay.
I'll say it like that. But yeah, so you guys do not want to miss that. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, because I do go live at random. And all content creators, I do work with you guys if you guys want me on your show. So hit me up on IG at Twuan, Twuan, Twuan. And that's also where you can send your prayer requests. If you are looking for prayer for you or your family members, hit me up on IG, and I will be in prayer for whatever's going on in your life. Also, at Twuan is the same place where you can find me on Twitter. Yes, I'm trying to get my X game back. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, if you want to catch me on X or Twitter, hit me up at Twuan. All right.
And for me, I'm back. I know this live was a little shorter than usual, but of course, it's the first week back for the both of us for this show. We're back. We're gonna be stronger as the time goes by, back to where we were next week, obviously, and then the week after that. Obviously, Miami game, stuff like that. For me, finally, man, I think I have finally again have made a clear, probably thing for the channel, for my channel. Now, how I'm gonna do things. Of course, stay tuned for next week because it starts next week, and I'm gonna start doing some videos that I always wanted to do and I just don't do it. But now it's time to really execute it. So you're gonna see me do a lot of post game videos instead of post game lives. Because obviously with these games going the way they're going, it's better for me to do a video, a little edit, you feel me, a little bit, something that people could watch quickly. It doesn't have to be too long and stuff like that. So that's one. And obviously Wednesdays, 2 for 1 Nation podcast every week, same time, same place, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard, 8 p.m. Eastern. And of course, maybe some other potential lives as the week goes by, who I get on the show and stuff like that. I'm gonna start hitting up people and start to get that going as well. And then as time goes even by, the draft content might start popping up as well. YouTube Shorts, all those great things. So stay tuned for that. So subscribe to the SC Raiders Talk, aka your boy Eric, man. And of course, they're both in the description down below. Both of our Instagrams are down below, I believe, and the YouTubes both down below. So if you click on the description, you'll see it down there if you scroll a little bit. And of course, shout out to everybody coming on in, man. I appreciate you guys. hit that like button, like I said, subscribe to the both of us, and of course, we'll see you next week for the both of us. And hey, subscribe to both channels for more Raider content, and hopefully we could get this dub against Miami on Sunday at 10 a.m. And besides that, man, there's one thing that can never get old, and that's, of course, and remember, life is too short, so always tell your loved ones you love them. Don't tell their lives, but tough people do, and you guys are some tough people, man. I'll see you next week, like always, man. Blessings, and hopefully this week we come out with the dub. I'll see you guys next week. This was the SC Raiders Talk, aka boy Eric, and the home of the congregation and the Brown Crackers, Raider Twuan, man, and we are out. Peace.
Commitment to excellence. There's a commitment to excellence. The greatest players could get the greatest coaches. The great games we've played in, the flame that would burn brightest here is the will to win. Is the will